All-time location. I am on a trip this week on the east side of the Cascades. I made a pit stop at one of my favorite national forest trails, Cutthroat Pass. This trail is so beautiful. You get those wide open vistas. Really cool trail that is so sweet that we have access to. It's a pretty slow night, like one other car in the parking lot. So I'm hoping I can ride a little bit more wide open than usual. I think it's pretty cold up here, but I'm working up such a sweat that I'm staying self-heated. That thinner air just takes it out of you when you're not acclimated. Especially when you're kind of pushing it on the climb like I am today. Another tacky little move. Not too bad. There's a lot of good climbing tech on this trail. I wasn't sure if I was gonna go all the way up the pass today, just due to my tighter timeline and waning light. But it looks like we made it. Got the full experience. Nice little bone-chilling wind over here. Makes you feel like fall has indeed arrived. Oh man, yeah, well-deserved drink of water. I think it's like 2,400, 2,500 feet. All right, let's ease into this descent. I think it's gonna be a little chilly. Oh my gosh, yeah. Look at that, just wide open landscape. I think you guys can probably look at it better than I can. I'm gonna keep my eyes on the trail. It's like this kitty litter dirt up here, but we just got some rain, and I'm not sure I've ever ridden this trail in the rain, so that is gonna be pretty sick. Should settle things out a little bit. Spike's got some double down DHF DHR tires too, so that is a lovely thing to have with all this kind of sharp granitic rock around. It's just like a straight up privilege that we have this trail just outside of like the national park and the wilderness. Feels like an area that you know, should only be able to, or would only be able to hike in usually. I went for a little crack in the rock, and then it just, of course, steered me into something else. A couple sections like this that are like kind of loose rock. Woo! Oh, that's sweet, taking that corner high. Opens up that corner a little bit. So one thing I'm kind of stoked on is this bike has come with the new, I don't know if you guys heard that. Kind of glad I'm on an alloy frame right now. Took a huge rock to the down tube. Better that than my shin. But this bike's got the new Lyric with the 3.1, you know, still got the buttercups. That 3.1 damping is just real fluttery. The compression damping and probably the rebound are just way more wide open and fluttery. And man, this thing is just, it's like a 160 millimeter fork, and it is just so cloud-like. Like, this is a rough, rocky trail, even on like the climb, you know, a bit of a stoppy corner. That one's real tight. That's the one caveat of this trail, is you have to put up with some like very national forest style switchback corners, but they're kind of a fun challenge. I don't mind it. I think it's this whole flavor of this trail is just something to behold. Look for some doubles to clean up the lines a little bit. What you can do on this trail, you can kind of pick your lines through the rocks. Multiple lines, but the trail is nice and tight. So your artistry is constrained, which is good. Oh my gosh, yeah. So that rear Super Deluxe also, I think with a newer tune, damp or whatever, the damping tune, it is just like it really is like a cloud back there. And this bike has not even 160 millimeter travel out back. And check speed through there. Bit of exposure off to the right here. But I do appreciate the nice damp dirt, keeping things locked in a hair more. Ooh, that one's tight. I think this is like a 20-minute descent of like, you hardly have to throw a pedal stroke, as I recall. We'll find out if that's true. Ooh, bit of a sniper little window there. Oh man, yeah. I love these high lines you can kind of jump into and open the corners up. Not every corner, but some of them. It's good to keep your switchbacking skills, you know, in check. I do feel like with modern bikes, climbing up switchbacks has gotten easier, but perhaps with the longer wheelbases, going down them is just as hard as ever. Just to get these straight corridors too, so phenomenal. Thankfully the elbow's feeling good today. Woo! Man, that section just rips. I think the terrain gets just a hair more predictable down here. Riding these kind of trails solo is risky, and I don't necessarily prefer it. Feels way better to ride with somebody. But when you get those moments in the wilderness by yourself, there's just this like exposed and in the moment kind of feeling that I usually cherish in retrospect, especially when you get back to your warm, safe environment. But just like being out here alone, kind of exposed to the elements, like it's just a very unique feeling, especially when it's getting close to shoulder season and you can just feel that creeping in of fall. Just like a very, very interesting feeling that it gives me. It's like a slight anxiety feeling, but kind of enjoyable and adventurous feeling as well. On a mountain bike, you can come down this so efficiently and just enjoy every square inch of this trail on the way down. Just so cool. And there's sections that even after, you know, how many years of riding, I feel like are still fairly technical and kind of push me. It's so fun. Kind of a mixed forest here on the east side too. Get all kinds of different alpine looking, like I'm sure like hemlocks and spruces. Throw in the occasional ponderosa. It's just like a mixing place right here. Got that big looming cliff above us now. We were kind of eye to eye with that when we were dropping in. Gotta give them credit too, these Code stealth brakes, pretty killer. Putting full trust in these things, you know, hitting these kind of speeds down this trail and feels so good. How relatable is the experience of riding down a trail in the woods too? and you see something dark out of the corner of your eye, and you kind of know it's a tree or a rock, you know, almost certainly. But then when you're riding your bike like this, you like try to look over and see if it's an animal or something. You're like, probably safer just keeping my eyes on the trail. Sometimes this stream crossing kind of goes, but it's looking real kind of messed up right now. Looks like somebody made a little rock wall for the water. This one you can ride through. Always feels adventurous to ride your bike through stream crossings. You really feel like you're in the mountains. Yeah, and then you get to this lower part of the trail and you think the party's over, and this part actually scoots pretty good too. Kudos to these guys for building a beautiful new bridge. Remember that other bridge last year was caving in a bit. So how buff is that trail up there though? Cutthroat Pass trail. It is so clean, so brush free, and just so manicured looking. It is during some of those peak summer times, like you share that trail with hikers. Woohoo! Kicked up a little ptarmigan or something. Some sort of meaty looking bird. But yeah, just such a treat that that trail exists. So happy I made it to the saddle today in the fading light. Beautiful thing about an out and back is you can always just try to turn around early. Kicking up these poor birds that are settling in for the night. Yeah, this section is pretty fun on the way out too. Getting into that shoulder season. Feels like it came early this year. But it's a time of good dirt. Things calming down usually. Less events and a little bit more time to breathe. Usually a time of year I end up working more. A little sprint in October. September, October usually. Yeah, I don't know what the grade is of this flatter trail on the way out, but it's enough to scoot. I'm guessing like 5%, but a smooth 5% grade is all you need to keep the bike moving. That trail is just an efficiency masterpiece for getting up to that ridge. Hooks up to the PCT trail. That would be just excellent to get legalized for bikes at some point. I've heard it has really nice grades, so it would just make a perfect cycling trail. But you know, happy to at least have this Cutthroat trail. A little bit flatter corners through here. You can kind of shuffle your weight around a little bit. Work the bike. Got darker here earlier than I was expecting. All right, well that's the bridge. So that is the entire Cutthroat experience. Hopefully you liked it. Like the video, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. And with that, we're out.